Welcome back to another episode of Main Course TV. I'm here with another special guest, Miss Alyssa Carmona.
Hi.
How are you today?
I'm great.
Good. So today we're going to be making teriyaki chicken pineapple bowls. So I'm going to be just prepping up the foods as normal. I'm going to be walking you guys through the different steps, so your ingredients, how to cut everything, and how to put everything together. So if you want to stand up and give me a little bit of energy here. I'm not feeling your energy right now.
I'm hungry.
I'm hungry. So to start, we have our chicken, which we're going to dice. We have our ginger, butter, honey, brown sugar, green onion, black pepper, sesame seeds, salt. We have our rice here, which is seasoned with salt and pepper, very simple. The soy sauce, which will be the base of our teriyaki sauce, we're gonna make that from scratch. And we have our pineapple here. So while I'm doing all this, I'm gonna, of course, ask Miss Alyssa some questions here, and we're going to get started. So you wanna tell the world a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name is Alyssa. I'm 25 years old. I am the owner of the BeYouty Lounge. I also have a nonprofit called BeYouty. And I also have a podcast. That's it.
So you're the owner of the BeYouty Lounge. You want to tell the world a little bit about that?
So I'm an esthetician that specializes in lash extensions and body waxing and facial waxing. So the BeYouty Lounge is my business where I service those services.
All right. And how long have you been doing that?
I've had the BeYouty Lounge for about 2.5 years. However, I've been an esthetician for about 4.5.
Okay. Can you walk me through the journey to get there? Because you didn't start just as the BeYouty Lounge. You had a process. So
Yes.
can you tell me about your process?
When I graduated Beta, I worked at quite a few salons, and they all really helped with like experience and like getting to work in the real world after school. But then I just got to a point where like it just wasn't enough working for somebody else. So I kind of was pushed to get to the BeYouty Lounge. The very last salon that I worked at had closed very unexpectedly. And so I had to quickly find a space to service my clients. And so from that space, it was booth rent, so it was a room in a salon. So I still worked for myself. It was just inside of somebody else's business. So I was kind of pushed to that choice, and from there, it just kind of grew into the BeYouty Lounge.
So what I'm doing here is very simple. I'm dicing the chicken. So you just want to cut it into strips, just like this here. And you kind of want to make sure your knife is sharp enough to do this, because sometimes if you're sawing at it, you get a really bad cut. So make sure the knife is sharp. You can just turn it this way, and you just want to cut it into squares. And always be careful when you're cutting. Keep your fingers out of the way to avoid bleeding and contaminating somebody. This is disgusting. All right, so you started at the BeYouty Lounge. What advice would you give somebody who has not ventured off on their own yet? Like they're in the same position you're in, even if it's another business. What would you say is the best way to just say, you know,
Can you quit playing that knife around? It was really scaring me.
Tell the people your advice.
So like I had said previously, I kind of was pushed into this because the salon I worked at had unexpectedly closed. And then once I had my own room in a salon, actually the same thing happened. And we had 2 weeks to get out of that space because the salon was closing. So I really took like a really big leap of faith to just go out on my own, because I felt like I had a lot of experience already, and I kept getting pushed out of these places, so I felt like that was the only option that I had. So I didn't necessarily like prepare myself to like own a business, honestly. but it's worked out really well, and I'm just kind of like learning along the way. So my advice would be, if it's something that you really desire, I would say just go for it. Worst thing that can happen is that it doesn't work, and that's really okay. Then you start back up. So yeah, I would just say take the leap of faith.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
Okay.
Kiddo. Alright, so now we have the chicken cut up. So this is where you come in. You are going to be my mixer. So you want to switch spots here. So to start, we have, really depends on how much chicken you're using. But this is about 5 chicken breasts here, so I didn't want to add too much salt because we also have soy sauce, which contains a lot of salt. So we have 2 tablespoons of salt here.
Like that?
Yeah.
All of this?
Yes. 2 tablespoons of pepper.
Oh, I'm about to sneeze.
So you can go ahead and mix that together.
Huh?
Mix it.
What? No.
You want to go ahead and mix this together now?
Absolutely.
Okay. So this is where your gloves come in. I know they're kind of big, but you know, they can be okay. So when she does that, I'm going to go get this sauce started. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the butter here and the brown sugar, and we're going to take it over here. Make sure your pan is not too hot because you don't want things to burn. So I added the butter already. We're just going to let this melt, and I'm going to add my brown sugar here. Stir this around.
How much butter did you add?
I used half a stick of butter. Now when this gets all nice and sandy looking, can you hand me the soy sauce over there?
You pouring this in?
Yes.
All of it.
Okay.
All of it?
Yeah, 1 second. And make sure it's all broken up, no clumps, and all the butter. Now that that's getting stirred in, we're going to add honey. The honey is really just for flavor. It's not to thicken it or anything like that. You can add as much as you want, however sweet you want it, but for this one I added a 1/4 cup of honey. So keep stirring that. And lastly is our ginger. I add that. This is for taste.
That's awkward. You want a spoon?
Yeah, there we go. Thank you. Just want to give this a nice stir. So we have cooked our chicken and our sauce is starting to get nice and thick here. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the chicken to the sauce. And now we're just going to stir it in. Get the sauce to stick to the chicken. Just want to turn the heat up a little bit and let it simmer. Make sure it's all coated, and that's it. Alright, so now we're going to cut our pineapple here. You can cut your half, I'll cut mine.
Okay.
So I'm going to slice your fingers off.
Absolutely.
Okay. So with this one, you just want to give it a nice incision straight down the middle. Best way to, now you can do this however you want. You can kind of go around the edges here, but I'm going to be using the inside of the pineapple for the chicken. So what I'm going to do is in the dice, so I'm going to make an incision here.
Oh, it just sounds so juicy. It do.
Alright. And then we're going to cut it this way. Alright, would you like to try?
Yeah.
You get the smaller knife.
So, I'm cutting it three ways?
Yes. You can do 1, 2, and 3.
Like that?
That ain't it. So you want to kind of go, no.
Oh, did I mess it
It's the
up?
bowl. You can't.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Oh, like, no, let me
So
show
look,
you.
just let me show you.
I got the ball. I'm very weak because this is cut all the way to the bottom.
She's just like. Alright, so you can kind of go at an angle and kind of cut it. Don't cut it all the way through, okay? Alright, you want to cut here?
I got it.
You got it?
Yes.
Alright, try not to
I
destroy your
got
bones.
it.
You're eating that one.
No, that's yours.
No, that's yours.
Like that?
Yeah, little deeper. Kind of get in there. You're making me uncomfortable. I think I'm gonna. That's better than mine, but mine is going to come out much better. So we're going to take this spoon here and we're just going to hollow this out. So, see, look what you did to your bowl.
I know. Okay. Just don't break it too much.
I'm surgical with this, Jake. Oh, yes.
Bread, pineapple. So we're back.
This is my show. This is the second time I had to tell somebody that this is my show.
What we're gonna
She's
do
excited.
next.
She got some food in her. She's excited.
What we're gonna do next is just kind of show you guys how we're gonna transport the chicken into the bowl. So, you ready?
So I've known you about 10 years now. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I've known you, you've been a very family-driven person, family and friend-driven person.
Mm-hmm.
What is the importance of your friends and family in your life?
Friends and family are everything. Half of it I feel like is a culture thing.
Mm-hmm.
Puerto Ricans are very family-oriented in general. My family is very a close-knit family, so I do feel like it's kind of how I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's really important to surround yourself with people and not be like isolated, you know?
Gotcha. So we've cut our pineapple. We're going to add it to the chicken and the sauce here, and then we're going to fix up our bowls. Do you have any questions for me?
Yes. What made you want to start Mayne TV?
I had always had an idea of doing something like live cooking classes or just demonstrations in general, and with enough procrastination and enough time has passed, eventually you're just like, let me just go ahead and do it. So I think what started the idea from the beginning was just being able to be have another. It's not even a source of income or anything like that. It's just another way for people to know who I am and people to be able to see what I do. So I enjoy that part of it, and so I think that's what really brought me here, and it gives me the opportunity to be able to teach people as well. So a lot of people ask me about recipes and how do you make this, how do you make that. So this is the opportunity for people to be able to actually see it. So.
That's it.
So your job is going to be to get the rice inside of the bowl. So you're going to do about halfway there. I'll just move this to your side, and while you do that, I will. Sorry about that. I will be cutting the green onion, which is really just for kind of garnish and taste. Just want to take these and, again, be careful. Just want to give it a fine slice. Alright. That looks good.
Like how I do like the cup.
Right, yeah, I got you. This one's really good, that's yours.
No, it's not. This one's yours.
That's yours.
This one's bigger.
Messed up. That one's not bigger.
Yeah, it's bigger.
So now I'm going to add the chicken here. Add a little bit of the sauce on top of the rice. Look at that.
That was actually really simple.
Really?
But the look of it
It's amazing.
bomb.
And that's really the point of these videos. Like, these are things that are easily made, that don't take a lot of time, that you can cook at home for you and your family, very quick and simple. So now we're going to add our sesame seeds to the top. Who's that? Who's that? Hey.
Huh?
And then you want to add your green onion on the top here. I'll just forget my special guest. She's tapped out for the night.
I'm sorry. Who was it?
Salt Bae, come on.
Who is that? I don't know who that is.
It's Sesame Bae. You never seen the dude with the... Please. Alright. And voila, we have our... Wow. That's the hole you... That's the hole that she drilled into her pineapple.
Ooh.
But this is our finished product here.
So I did this on purpose. I think this adds like a really nice effect to the dish.
Right. Like the how they do at the fancy restaurants, they put the sauce on there. Yeah. That was her intentions.
Yes, it was.
So I want to thank you for coming by Main Course TV.
Thanks for
Thank you
having
for being
me.
my guest. You're welcome. And this is your teriyaki chicken pineapple bowl with white rice. Thank you all for coming, and good night.